Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and my law firm assists dental associates with employment contract issues. Today I'm going to talk about how to get out of a dental associate contract. So, when you are a dental associate, you will sign one of two contracts, either an employment agreement or an independent contractor agreement. Ultimately, it's kind of the same way of terminating the agreement, but I'm just going to talk specifically about employment agreements because those are, I'd say, it's more the standard type of agreement for a dental associate to sign. So when the contract is signed, there will be language in the contract that states the term of it, so how long it lasts, and then also termination, meaning how either party can terminate the agreement. So as far as the term is concerned, normally it will be one of two things. Either there's a fixed term with automatic renewals, so it could be like a one-year term, which automatically renews for 1 year unless terminated, or more, I'd say more often recently, there has been what's called evergreen contracts, where it's simply there's no term listed at all, and it just states the contract continues on until someone terminates it. One is not better than the other. It's ultimately the same result. So after you can find out what the term is, then go to the section that talks about termination. And so the ways to terminate a contract, one, by mutual agreement. So if both parties, feel like it's just not working out, they don't need or require a certain amount of notice. They just say, all right, this isn't working out. We're both just going to wash our hands of this and move on. Two, if there was a fixed term, so let's just say it was 1 year and there was no language about automatic renewal, if the 1 year term expires, neither party decides to renew, the contract is terminated. That's it. For cause is another type of termination. So if one party is in breach of contract, there'll be language that states, the party who thinks that the other party is in breach has to give them written formal notice that says you're in breach of contract due to this. And then normally there would be some kind of language that's called a cure period. And a cure essentially gives the party who's breaching the contract a period of time to fix whatever the problems are. Normally it's somewhere between 15 to 30 days. So in this scenario, let's say the dental office is not paying a bonus that they said that they would, or it's not timely, or whatever the issue is. The dental associate would send them a written letter saying, we agreed that you would pay me this amount of bonus. You haven't paid this. You are in breach of contract. You have, 15 days to fix the breach, or I have the option of terminating the contract immediately. So that's one way to get out of the contract. The last way, and the most frequent way, is through what's called without cause termination. So every contract that a dental associate signs absolutely needs to have without cause termination. And what that means is either party can terminate the agreement at any time with a certain amount of notice to the other. Why this is important? I find this especially in the dental industry. The volume / if compensation that's tied to collections can really be puffed up before the dentist actually starts. And so they might get into a situation where maybe they're being paid purely on production. The volume simply isn't there. They're making nothing. And then they're stuck in a contract if there's no without cause termination language. So what you want is somewhere between 30 to 90 days for without cause termination notice. And so how that would work is just like if someone's in breach, the dentist would then state, in the written letters that I'm terminating the agreement per without cause termination. My last day of work will be X date. Appreciate the opportunity. And that's it. That's all you got to do. That's the most normal way of getting out of a dental associate contract. Same goes for them as well. If maybe they don't think it's working out with the dentist, they can give them notice, and then they can either make the dentist work out whatever the notice period is, or sometimes they can just tell them, look, go home. We don't need you anymore. However, they still have to pay you for that notice period. So if you had a 30-day notice, the dental office states we're terminating the agreement, we don't want you to come to work tomorrow, they still would have to pay the dentist for those 30 days. Now, the tricky part comes in if you're not on base salary, you're not getting a daily rate, you're only getting paid on production. Obviously, if you're not producing, you're not going to get paid. Then there needs to be a discussion prior to signing the contract and get language in there so that the dentist isn't essentially working for free or not getting paid at all for that notice period. The reason why there is some kind of notice period, at least in the healthcare field, is generally for continuity of care. What they don't want is for either a dentist or any kind of healthcare provider to just not show up one day, say I'm leaving, and then there's a bunch of patients on schedules, people who need work done. There's no one to provide that. It can put the patients in a tough spot if there's just no notice and their provider leaves. It is not the dental associate's problem, however, as long as they give enough notice. These are the patients of the practice, not the dental associate. And so when the dental associate terminates the agreement or is terminated, once they leave, they have no obligations as far as the patients go, or having to worry about referring them out or transitioning to somebody else. That's the employer's problem. So to get out of a contract, you can either, the term can end, you can mutually agree to terminate it, you can terminate it for cause if the other party doesn't fix the breach, or you can just give without cause termination in a letter, finish out your time, and move on. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions, you can always give us a call at the phone number listed below in the description, or you can reach us through our website, ChelleLaw.com. That's CHELLE law.com. There's also a link to a blog post as well. I appreciate you watching the video. Thanks.